This right here took me to a level of myself that I had my hands in the air. Like it was church. I had my hands in the air and I was crying. I mean, it was just, this is the morning. This is how the mornings. Hey, I'm Kelly Jedele, and this is The Kelly Jedele Show. Here's the lie we've been sold, that you have to pick the career or the kid, the big vision or the bedtime story. I'm calling it. That's not the deal. You can have both. I have built businesses for the last 16 years as a single mom, and you can do it without hustling yourself into the ground, but by choosing strategically every single day. This show is for the woman who wants the business, the brand, the freedom, and the family. All of it. So grab your coffee, your kid's juice box, whatever you got in your hand. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the Kelly Jedele Show. Today is a bonus episode. It's a different one. It's a little extra. I am coming to tell you about my experience at the Pink Skirt Summit in Kelowna, BC, Canada. And I am so excited to share. I want to do a little deeper dive than what I could possibly do on Instagram. And so I'm just here to share my experience, my takeaways, what I'm going to do next, how I'm feeling about it. And then I also wanted to add in the piece of the AI Media Empire Summit that I went to for Dan Martell that was at the beginning of my stay in Canada, and kind of contrast and compare a little bit from the both of them. So I will tell you, last week was Thursday and Friday for the Pink Skirt Project, and that type of female energy is just exactly what is needed in life from time to time. Like sitting back and listening to other women who have been before us, who are doing those things and inspiring us to be more of ourselves. Like it's just exactly what I wanted and needed in my life right now. And I got to connect with several of the women beforehand because we had a WhatsApp chat. And then also a lot of the women that were at the Pink Skirt are also in Elite, which is Dan Martell's coaching program that I'm in. So I get to see these ladies on Zoom, and I have a Monday accountability call, and some of those ladies were there. So we have lots of connections that were there starting, and then they just formed a lot tighter in person, of course. And we got to have lunch together and go on a hike together and really enjoy listening to these wise women that are out there before us. And I will say one of the things that's just so wonderful about those types of events is really putting yourself in a different situation. So for me, I was in Canada for 18 days over the course of both conferences. I had one conference a week in between and then another conference at the end of the third week. And it was just a great experience for me to get out of my normal routine and really just mix up my life a little bit and see what's possible. And I love that. I love that so, so much. The Pink Skirt Project was Thursday and Friday. There was 2 days. And we started off the Pink Skirt Project with Patrice Washington. And she was phenomenal. She brought us exactly where we needed to start from. She had some humor in the front, which I thought was hilarious. She was like, take some pictures now so you don't catch me in the middle of a sentence. So she was like, She made these gorgeous faces and then stood there and paused so we could take pictures of her, which is so true because if you take pictures of someone talking, those are weird faces. So when you take pictures of someone holding a shot, you get a better shot. So she's like, I won't block you if you take these and post them, which I thought was hilarious. A funny way to start, a nice way to get us connected. She talked about alignment. And if you're not aligned, you can really have so many things that cost you. So misalignment can cost you something, and you don't always know in the moment what it is. So if you're not like being true to who you are and yourself, that misalignment can look like a different friendship or a bad business or a client that you weren't supposed to take, or like it can look like so many things for your children and that. So aligning is really, really what she focused on and really helped us get our day started off. I loved it when she said, if your spirit is off, miss me. Like, don't even show up. Miss me. Don't even have me there. She said, she really talked about like, if you have a practice, like you believe in God or you go to church or you're Buddha or you meditate or whatever, if you have a belief, practice that on a regular basis, because when we stay in alignment with our beliefs and we keep our integrity intact, that's when life really lines up for us. It allows us to see more of our world. And I really love that about her. We also got to hear from Renee Warren, the actual founder of the Pink Skirt Project. And she really brought the fire. She talked about leaving the must be nice friends. So when you're building and you're growing, and you buy the fancy car, or you have the nice house, or whatever, if whatever that might look like, you have a lot of followers or whatever, and that person says, it must be nice. Yeah, those people. We distance ourselves from those people. We don't see them quite as often. We may not even need to tell them. We just don't share space with them as often. So that was interesting to hear her talk about. And also just find the common thread in your life. Like, what is going on that's working for you? Where is that happening in all of the things that you're doing, the jobs that you've had, the relationships you've had? What's that common piece that's really keeping you together? And why not me? And why not now? She asked those questions, and that really like hit me and got me kind of fired up, because we do know, that's one of the things, we do know what we need to do. We just don't always have the courage. Right. So that was really, really, really good to hear. And then after lunch, Sir Dan Martell himself, and he talked about fear and turning pro, and that those two things, you know what to do. The fear, really, we feel those feelings. And he says, fuck those feelings. Do it anyway. Like, just do it anyway. Feel the feelings and fly the plane. Like, just keep going. Yeah, you don't have a content problem, you have a courage problem. Like, that's so true. The false fears that he talks about, 3, not being good enough, the fear of being judged, and then the fear of your greatness, like the Marianne Williamson quote that I absolutely love. So if you have a new level, you have new standards. So you've got to really face your fears and make sure that you're just going out there and doing it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Then after Dan, we had the Rebel panel with Lori Harder, Joanna Wiebe, and Dhorea Ramanula. And these ladies brought the fire. They brought the spice. Anita was the panel person, and it was fantastic. They talked about listening and holding space. Dhorea did. And sometimes we as women, right, we just need someone to hold space for us, like a friendship. Like if something's going on, we don't need it solved. We just need someone to listen, and that's a good reminder. We always need that reminder. And let's see, all the things that they talked about, so much stuff. Lori said, I don't need to know how to do it all. And that was really good to hear. When you see someone successful and all, like seemingly put together like her, when she says stuff like that, I don't need to know how to do it all. Just be consistent, be in your zone of genius, and do what you want, and you will find the people. So you hire people that don't know what, don't have the skills for. But you don't like hire them and forget about it. You still need to be accountable and keep them accountable for what they're doing. Keep all of those things on a dashboard or in line. But you don't have to worry about always knowing everything. And that felt good. And then the end of the day for day 1 was Maria went, and she was so good. She is on fire right now. One of the things she said that was so cute towards the end, she's like, I have a lot of money and a lot of time. She was just saying, like, all of the things that she's done has gotten her to this place, and she's in a very good place, and she's very happy. So it was cute how she shared it. And she from the jump, she was like, I'm not a speaker, I'm not a good storyteller, I'm just gonna be tactical and practical. And she did. She gave us like paid media versus organic media, and then every piece of content and media goes straight to your checkout page. So it has a link to the checkout page. And she does low ticket content. So her average ticket price is around $27. So she does that low ticket price, and everything she has goes straight to the checkout page. She has ManyChat checkout page, YouTube checkout page, shorts, emails, anything like that, straight to the checkout page. And then she talked about whatever content you're doing, like for an email specifically is what she was talking about, whatever you write, take 60% of it away. People don't want to listen to all that. They don't want to read all of that. So she said fancy fails, simple scales. Dan says that too. Simple scales. And when you get fancy and all those details, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then also write your emails and your content as if you're talking to your bestie. Like just think about who you might want to talk to and let them know, and talk in that voice, because that's your most authentic voice, and that's what people want to see. That's what people want to talk about. She also talked about her company modeling the Ready, Fire, Aim book by Michael Masterson. So I'm going to look that up. I've heard of that book before. Ready, Fire, Aim. So instead of aim, ready, fire, so you're just go for it. Just out there shooting the shot. And that's me right now. Execution over perfection. So it's, you're actually getting the thing done instead of worrying about how perfect it needs to be and what you need to have. So that was important. She also said, get to the point, make it light, crisp. She also said blue color really helps. So that was fantastic. And then day 2, we started the day with Sam Skelly, and her breath work. And ladies, I have done a lot of breath work, right? I've done a lot of yoga. I love yoga, meditation, prayer, all different types of box breathing. When people say breath work, I'm always like, yeah. No. This right here took me to a level of myself that I had my hands in the air. Like, it was church. I had my hands in the air and I was crying. I mean, it was just, this was the morning. This is how the morning started. We had done a hike that morning also. So it was just awesome. She had us do this like deep breathing, and I don't know if it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I kind of lost track of time. But the breath work takes you to a level of your heart and self that allows you to be you, that the world needs. And she said, use your energy to be your true self. People want that energy. They don't necessarily want all the data and knowledge that you have. They want your energy. They want to be around you for your energy and what you bring and how you handle things. A brilliant way to start off the day, I will tell you. And then we had Jen Pike. Jen Pike, she nails it. She delivers it straight. She is yoga. She does nutrition and lots of women's health things. She has a podcast called Simplicity Seasons. I got to check that out. And she talked about how women need to listen to their body and act on it. So on average, she said around women take about 2 years to act on it. So if your energy is low, if your sleep is bad, if you have aches and pains, if your thyroid's not working, if you're losing hair, your skin's off, anything like that, get those things checked. That's a sign and a symptom that something is going on. You may need a vitamin or a supplement. You may need hormones. You may need something more. Like, take care of you and allow yourself to go be seen. Allow yourself to go out there. That's really important. I can't believe most women wait that long, but I know I'm guilty of that. I got on hormones, 2 years ago, and it wasn't because I hadn't been feeling bad. I had been feeling bad for several years, and a girlfriend of mine just told me about it. So very grateful. After Jen, we had Adley Kinsman. Oh man, this woman. She brought the fire. She brought the spice. She's got energy, that one. And she looked fantastic. She says, you don't always have to talk to your ICP, like your ideal client profile. You don't always have to talk to your niche. Like, you want to entertain the masses, and you want to educate the people that are interested, and then you want to enroll the people that are still paying attention. So it's just, it's like a funnel almost. Like you entertain the masses, like the bigger, to get them to pay attention to you. And then when they're paying attention to you, you educate. And if they're interested in that, you enroll them or you sell them on whatever you're doing. Like, you want lots of people to come into your world so that you can go through that system. And I love that, because that kind of freed me up in my mind, because I've been getting all of this information about like going down to your niche, and it's not always fun. It's not always fun. And then there's a huge difference, she says, between what they say they want to watch versus what they actually watch. That's true. Make what people want to watch, not what you think they want to watch, or what you want to make. That was really fun. Really, her test also is the duh test, which is so funny. So your hook, if you say duh, it's not a good hook. So if your hook for the first line or two of your reel or your story is, well, duh, like everybody knows that it's not a good hook. So it needs to be something that's, fiery, spicy. And she says it's either about time, money, status, or fear. And those 4 usually create a good hook when you're talking about one of those things for your client or your ideal client, or to get, attention. So tension equals retention. So if you give them tension in the beginning, maybe leave an open loop at the beginning of a reel, like you don't close the thought, or you leave something that's, physically maybe they out and they have to wait for it to, manifest or whatever. That tension keeps them engaged and watching your content longer. And that's what you want. That's actually what you want them to stay watching you. Aim for 90% retention in the first 6 seconds, she says. 90% in the first 6 seconds. So that was fantastic. And then after lunch, our final keynote, Jen Gottlieb. She was fantastic. She is an actress and a keynote speaker, international. So she, of course, comes with a ton of energy in a tiny little body. She's so teeny. And it's so funny to see her in person, and they're these big personalities and you see them in person and you're like, oh, they're so tiny. She was fantastic. She told us, just get out there and do the thing. Like, go do the thing. That was what I heard from her. Don't wait when we're able to change. Do it right now. Like, do whatever you're thinking, go do it right now. And that's such a good message, because we think we're waiting until the kids are grown, or, the parents are, maybe passed away, or the parents are in the nursing home, or you graduate college, or whatever the thing is. We're always like, we'll wait until then when the time in life is perfect. It ain't ever going to be perfect, baby. It's not. It's just not. So no shoulds is one of the other things that she says. She says, you only get this one day. This day, you only get it once. So don't should on yourself. I should have done this. I should have done. Don't do that. Go do it. Go do it, or let it go. Don't be so hard on yourself. And there's so many signs of fear, symptoms of fear: perfectionism, imposter syndrome, the disease to please, fear of missing out, FOMO, or the comparison trap. Disease to please. Yeah, it's just so many things that are keeping us from actually going and doing the thing. Like, don't do that. So she says, to get around that, we really have to be grateful for what we do have. She says, shit has to happen. So in order for our lives, a lot of times we feel like, why did that happen? Why did that happen to me? Why did that have to go wrong? Why did I have to get a divorce? Why did, whatever it is in your life? And it's those things that actually very much make up how our life can improve. I got fired from my job in 2009. That's how I started my company. So when these shit things happen, they shift our lives into a whole new trajectory that maybe never could have happened. So it's up to us to take those things that happen and make tiny, tiny commitments inside of them to move ourselves in the direction we want to go as it's happening. Like, that's so important. She also says that visibility is your responsibility. So when you have clients that you need to get in front of, that's your responsibility. So in order to make videos and be out there on the social media, your responsibility. She also says, help one person every day. I love that. When you're helping other people, you don't think about yourself. When you do it for other people and you're making content, or you're making a video, or you're, whatever it is, an email, newsletter, when you're doing it for other people, it takes some of the onus off of you. And that helps me a lot when I'm thinking of other people, because I get so lost in myself. So I created intentions around the work that we did. Like, we had a little bit of a mastermind session at the end, and I decided that I'm going to go live every day. You may have seen yesterday I went live for the first time ever, and I didn't turn my mic on. So for the first 2 minutes, no sound. That's fine. And then I'm going to reach out for speaking opportunities. I'm going to have my EA do that, as well as me. And then work on conversations inside of Instagram. I love talking to you in Instagram. I love it. DM me all the time, everywhere. And then start working on my coaching. My coaching starts August 4th. And then work on my talking to God and my breath work. I really want to do that. And then work with my EA to get her onboarded and comfortable with all of the role that she has going on. And then really some takeaways for me. Costa asked me the difference between takeaways from Pink Skirt versus the AI Summit that I was at the beginning of my trip to Canada. The AI Summit that Dan Martell had was focused on business and AI, like the actual, very much the detail in that. And the Pink Skirt Project was more about content and alignment, putting ourselves out there. The content, the title of the Pink Skirt Project, what the theme was Be Seen. And so, which is Jen Gottlieb's book title. But the Be Seen is the content and the alignment piece. That's the Pink Skirt Project. And so that really connected to me because what I want to do is my keynote speaking. And so in order to do my keynote speaking, I have to put myself out there. I have to say that I'm a speaker. I am. I've spoken for many, many years, close to 30 years now. So now I want to do that for people and talk about life. And I have my keynote that I wrote is about vision, courage, and evolving as a woman. And I love giving that keynote. And then I also got what changed for me. Anna asked me what changed for me after. And I will say I immediately, so the conference was Thursday, Friday. Yesterday, I worked on more AI stuff immediately. I had a friend, Vijay and Gunjan, that were helping me with learning a little bit more of the AI, just going in and doing the agents and Claude Code as opposed to just the chat and the dashboard, like looking at it a different way. So I immediately started doing that. So the takeaway is AI for me and then content. I jumped on a live for the first time. And then I'm going to kick up how much content I'm doing. You're going to see a lot of Kelly. I hope that's okay. And then let's see. Ashley asked me what big things I'm going to do now from after the Pink Skirt Project. And I will say it's really truly focusing on my speaking, my coaching, and the podcast. So bringing those things in front of the world is what's really important to me. I still have my cleaning business. I still love it. I've got a talented group of women who run that business. And I will still continue to lead them. I just won't be as involved in the day-to-day. And I love that. I mean, that's fantastic. That's a growth in business, right? Evolving. And then one also question that I got from Ashley was the moment that surprised me. And I will say, so Dan Martell asked me on a group coaching call in front of 400 people to stay for Pink Skirt, right? Because he knew I was coming to the AI Summit. And then I said something about being, wanting to do more speaking. And he said, well, you should come to the Pink Skirt Project because Jen Gottlieb is there. She's a friend of mine and she's a speaker and she's going to be talking about that. It's like, well, Dan, that's 3 weeks. I don't know if I want to be away from home for my company for 3 weeks. It's like, you should stay. He's like, you should stay. And if you stay, I'll get you to talk to Jen Gottlieb. I said, great, done. Like in front of everyone, done. And so I got to be known as the person that stayed in Kelowna. And so like people were like asking me questions about best coffee places and restaurants and stuff. It's so funny because I stayed there the whole time and directions and everything was so cute. And then from the stage, both Anita and Renee were like, that's Kelly. She's the one that stayed. And so that surprised me. That was a huge moment that surprised me because I didn't know that they knew. And I know Renee probably heard about it, but I didn't know that they knew that that was something that I did. So that was really special. That felt really special to me. And the ladies that I got to meet, I was very much surprised how deep the conversations and how immediately comfortable I felt with the ladies and how I'm going to stay connected. And to the men too. There was men at the AI Summit, not for the Pink Skirt, but the AI Summit, lots of great connections there. And so it was just really, that's a good, huge takeaway for me. And with the AI Summit with Dan and his team, I will say the AI content and the content for social media was extremely detailed, and the business conversations about standards and leveling, that was very much geared to scaling and building your business. And the Pink Skirt Project was very much about being seen as a woman and as a person, and the business will grow because of that. So it was just different conversations, all on a very similar theme, right? And so it wasn't very much different, but it did have different feels to it. Pink Skirt, I mean, it was very feminine, very girly, very, a lot of emotions and that type of thing. And then, of course, Dan's AI summit very intense, and a lot of bro energy, and a lot of we're getting shit done, and like a lot of takeaways. That every section had a takeaway, and then we had a final takeaway, and then we had rocks that we created at the end. I mean, like, it was really super structured, whereas the Pink Skirt project was more taking care of yourself and being in alignment and being connected to who you are, so the energy of yourself, as opposed to like to get it done kind of thing. So that was both of those fantastic. Wouldn't stop it. I also found out about granola. This is not an ad, but if you don't know about granola, it's on your phone. It's an app, and you can record conversations. And then, now be careful with this. I was just doing it for my own good, but it will curate notes for you. So you don't have to have, because my brain, I will listen, but then I'll check out and like start thinking about something else, and then I'll come back and I'll miss things. Even though I'm present in the room, I'm not present in my mind. So that was really helpful. So I got that after the AI summit, and I started recording conversations about what we were learning, and then I go back and look at that, and that's really helpful. So I would highly recommend granola. So that would, and then you could use those transcripts for AI conversations or SOPs or those type of things. So that was really helpful as well. So, but this is fantastic, start to finish, top to tip, like the whole thing. What a great experience. Kelowna is gorgeous. Getting out of Texas for the summer, highly recommend. The weather was it was showed off. I mean, it was perfect. It was cool and crisp and not humid, and just lovely, absolutely lovely. And I would definitely go back. Absolutely. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you. If you have questions specifically, DM me, comments, let me know. I'm happy to talk more about anything that you have questions about. And then also, I had a lot of connections that I made. I have a whole long list of people that I met with. And so I'm going to be continuing to grow those friendships and relationships, because it meant so much to me, the people that I met. So if I got to meet you during that time, hi, I'm so glad we met, and I'm glad you're here. So if this conversation hit, please share it. Please share it with another woman. Share it with someone who might need to hear this. Also, if your company is looking for ads on my podcast, I'm looking for sponsors right now to do ads on the podcast to bring this more to light, so we have more to offer. If you want me on your podcast, let me know. If you'd like to be a guest on this podcast, let me know. I hope you have a gorgeous week. I love you so much. Love yourself. And until next time, have a great day. Bye. That's it for this week. If something in this episode hit, do me a favor. Send it to one woman in your life who needs to hear it. That's how this community grows, one honest conversation at a time. Follow the show, leave a review, and come find me on Instagram. I read everything. Remember, strong doesn't mean solo. I'll see you next week.